welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the Giant Trance E+1. This is a brand new bike for Giant in 2022 and it's a really cool bike. It's quite an upgrade from the old Trance E of 2021 and it's got a whole bunch of new features. I'm really excited to get out riding on it today and we'll just have a look at it just now. I'll be your tour guide of the bike. That's how we'll do it. So what's really cool about this bike is it's a fully composite frame, front end and the rear end. A lot of carbon bikes, as you probably know, come with just an alloy rear end, so they've lightened up this bike on the rear with a carbon rear end, which for its intended use, which is kind of like more trail riding, longer rides, that's just helps your battery last a bit longer because the bike's a bit lighter. It comes with 150mm suspension at the front and 140mm suspension travel at the rear, and it also comes with Fox Live valve, which if you've never heard about is a really cool system that basically has a sensor at the front behind the fork arch and a sensor at the rear hidden away down here somewhere. And what it does is it senses your terrain that you're riding on and it firms up the suspension as you're riding, and it also softens it up as you're riding for when it's rough, and that basically gives you a ride that the bike feels nice and planted on the rough stuff, and on the smooth stuff you've got better pedaling efficiency. Now the Trance E comes with a 625 watt-hour battery, which from my experience on the rain, I tend to get about 1100 meters climbing in full boost mode with not really trying to nurse it around. So this should get you around a lot of trails, especially if you're running it in the more eco modes as well. This bike as well is also full 29, which is different from the Rain. The Rain is 650B, so this bike is definitely more aimed at riding on the trail centers compared to thrashing turns like you might find on the Rain. And we've spec'd this out with WTB Vigilante tires. We're heading into the Scottish winter, so these tires will be great on a range of surfaces from, as you see here today, probably some nice gravelly we're in the northeast of Scotland, so it's quite gritty and granity, but it'll also do very well in the mud, which I'll find when I go back home down further south in Scotland. We've also spec'd the bike out with the Mud Hugger mudguard. These bolt on really nicely to the fork, and we've got the short one on just now because this bike probably won't be riding in the wettest of wet trails, be seen on more nice surfaces, so don't need the full size one on. And we've also spec'd out with the 160mm bike yoke seat post. This is the perfect size post for this bike because again, we're not riding the gnarliest trails on it because this bike is meant for kind of doing everything. So one of the other really cool things about this bike is, because as I've sort of already said, is it's a really do-it-all bike. You'll be able to ride all sorts of terrain on this. It's also got the flip chip in the linkage here. Now this is just a little chip that's in here, and what you can do is you can unscrew it all, flip it around and screw it back up, and what it does is it raises the bottom bracket or lowers the bottom bracket slightly, and it also slackens the head angle or steepens the head angle slightly. Running it in the low mode is going to give you a bit more of an aggressive ride, better for the burlier trails and a little bit more cornering stability, but in the high mode it's going to be much better for the climbing, more technical climbs, and also just going to give you a bit more comfortable position on the longer rides. It's not going to feel like the steering's a bit sloppy and be a bit more tiring on your hands. So this is a really good feature of that. And so you might be thinking, who is this bike for? What do I need this for? Now, this is just like a really do-it-all bike. You can ride anything on this because 150mm travel, you can ride kind of just the gnarliest trails that you can find. You'll get down them. It might be a bit rougher than using the Rain with bigger travel, but you could ride anything on it. And similarly with its lightweight and the Fox Live valve and everything, it's equally suited to long rides where you're trying to get way out into the hills and making the most out of the battery. So this is a really good do-it-all bike. Now, I should have already mentioned this, but I hadn't yet. The bike has the Sync Drive Pro motor, which for Giant this year is incredible. I've been riding it a lot on the Rain and I love it, basically. The motor as well, it's got the power assist mode, which basically is like auto, and you can just plug it in that and it just works out how much power you need. You don't need to faff about with modes 1 to 5, you can just use the power assist. We like to call it the special giant mode, just what we like to call it, but it is, it's so good, but it is the power assist. But if you do want to change the modes, Giant also has the integrated bar remote, which is really nice and small and fits in here, and you can just easily change up from one mode to the other with these little buttons here, which is really nice. The bike has the integrated control panel, which nicely switches on the bike here, and it's where you can see what mode you're in. And it also has the capability through AMP Plus to some wireless displays like a Garmin or a Wahoo. I've not tried that out personally, so I don't know how that worked, so I'm not going to try and explain it to you here. You can also pair the bike with the Giant Ride Control app. This will allow you to customize all the buttons you can press here, how the modes work, so you can change level 1 to be like more assist or slightly less assist. And it also allows you to update your bike. It allows you to check the health of your battery. It also gives you a more accurate battery percentage, because this obviously just has the 1 to 5. You can check if it's got 52% or 53% if you really want to know. And that's how you can update the firmware on it. So check that out as well. Also, it tells you how many miles you've done on your bike, which I think is kind of cool. I think I'm going to go ride the bike now. Pretty excited. Should we go? So we just brought the Trance E up to the top of the trails here in Abyone, which is where we're at. Got a few little single track techie climbs to go up, and it was handling it like a champ. The Fox Live valve actually really nice on the e-bike. It's I mean, it's the same system obviously, but it just feels better on the e-bike. I like how it works. So we're gonna go check out this sweet trail here, which looks a little bit built, a little bit natural, and I think it's going to be perfect for this bike, so I'm just going to drop in. So that's us just wrapped up here in Abyone testing out the Trance E+1. It's been a lot of fun riding this bike. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's very nippy e-bike, I would say, especially given it's the full fat. It's not diet e-bike, full fat with the full power motor and the large battery. We're yet to try it on some real big mountains, but there was quite a mix of terrain here, from trail centre to soft dirt and some trickier climbs, and it performed in them all very well. So hope you learned something in this video about the Trance E+1, and I would definitely recommend this as an e-bike if you're considering one. It's a lot of fun. How it differs from the Rain depends kind of on what kind of riding you're mainly going to do, but if you're looking for a do-it-all bike, this is the one. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe. No pressure though. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye now.